Gotta talk fast. Gotta talk fast. Gotta talk faster, faster, faster. Gotta talk fast.
Welcome to an oral review of Archie Comics' Sonic the Hedgehog, reminding you that as we enter dark times, it's important to strike a balance between awareness and peace of mind. With the electoral validation of fascistic rhetoric, we are entering unprecedented and precedented times. The biggest challenge you can make is in your immediate local communities, wherever they are. The world and national stuff is important, but if you need to ignore it, do it. Stay safe, stay in touch with your neighbors, build whatever community you can, and most importantly, every subscription to our channel will decrease global instability by approximately 0.8%. I'm Nick, and except for this intro, I wrote the script.
And I'm Dominic. Except for this intro, I haven't read any of today's script.
0.8% is what you gave us? That is so incredibly high.
Well, hold on. Think about it. People come together for Sonic.
You think we're gonna bring the world together with Sonic?
I think that's what we're doing. We're making the world a better place through Sonic the Hedgehog.
I'm a firm believer of doing what you can to help the people around you, and that's what we're doing. We're bringing people Sonic. That's how we help. That's how we make the world a better place.
Mm-hmm.
What do we? Sorry, I just remembered that Stallone is now going to be ambassador for Trump for Hollywood.
Yeah, I read
That's all I'm thinking about.
I read a story and I forgot what it was, but it was like Mel Gibson, Stallone
and John Voight.
John Voight are going to be Voight. Yeah,
I don't know how to say
are going to be Donald Trump's unofficial ambassadors or like inroads into Hollywood, which is funny. Just because it's like, you fundamentally don't have an understanding of where Hollywood is right now, do you? I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of old money, but still, it's like, I don't know.
all those people were very big stars in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Late 80s.
I mean,
what was the biggest thing John Voight has done since, like, what, Anaconda?
Hold on. Megalopolis? Excuse you?
He was in the Megalopolis?
He was in Megalopolis, yeah.
Well, I didn't see that yet.
He hides a boner with a blanket, but then he reveals the boner to actually be a crossbow and then shoots Audrey Plaza with it.
Okay, yeah, I would have left that guy as ambassador too. Yeah. So
he was also he surprisingly has a lot of work, John Voight, even more than the other two, I think, but more or less. But
I mean, Mel Gibson just directed
I was just thinking
Airplane movie, which looked pretty good, actually.
Yeah. I mean, hey, credit where credit's due. But I think he was also in, what was it? Ray Donovan, which I actually liked for at least the first 3 seasons. But anyway, we're reading Sonic the Hedgehog number 24. Cover date, July of 1995. When Hedgehogs Collide, Part 1. Script by Mike Kanternovich and Ken Penders. And penciled by Dave Monach. We open on Sonic being out of character. Sonic is kicking a pig that is wearing shoes, gloves, and no other article of clothing in the butt. To be sure that...
Sorry, this is very funny, your cadence there.
To be sure that I was correct on the statement of Sonic being out of character, I Googled Sonic character traits and discovered a long list on the Sonic Wikipedia page. In this list, we have a hodgepodge of core tenets that I assume has evolved over the years. However, here is the list, listed out for you, so you, the listener/viewer, can decide if Sonic kicking a pig in the butt is antithetical to the character or not. A drifter who lives as he wants. I'll admit this is super in character. Quick-witted. Sonic doesn't have a snarky comment after kicking said pig. In fact, when the pig asked, "What'd you do that for, Sonic the Hedgehog?" Sonic the Hedgehog replied by saying, "Because I felt like it, that's why. Besides, I don't like your face."
Nice.
Not exactly quick-witted, though very much a drifter who lives as he wants. I'll provide the rest of the list without commentary. Easygoing. Short temper. Impatient with slower things, a daredevil, honest, loyal to friends, keeps his promises, dislikes tears. Is that
Hey, man.
is that verbatim? Like, did they use the words dislikes tears?
Maybe you should keep on reading the script instead of adding your own commentary, Dominic. Maybe this question is answered.
While I'm beginning to remember that anyone can add what they want to Wikipedia, dislike tears was cited from the 1997 smash hit game Sonic Jam, which released on the Sega Saturn in 1997. Said info was in the character profile section on the English release of the game. For the record, this was not in the manual. I checked. I believe that there is an in-game character profile which you can view. However, I do not own Sonic Jam and do not have a quick and easy way to verify said information. However, dislike tears feels right, and have decided to put that in my headcanon as a core and defined trait. Surely there's someone on YouTube who like, hey, I'm showcasing the Sonic Jam character. I don't know.
I guarantee you there was. I started going down that route, and then I was like, okay, for the record, I wrote this at 4:30 this morning.
Fair enough.
And I was just like, I can't. I gotta write this so I could start doing my real work for work.
I leave the interpretation of whether or not Sonic is acting in character up to you, the listener/viewer. After Sonic kicks the pig into the puddle of mud, Sonic runs off, presumably listening to Puddle of Mud as he does. We cut to Sally, taking a stroll through the park when she encounters a purple squirrel fishing in a pond. The squirrel asks Sally if she'd like to join. Sally responds by saying, "No thanks, little girl, but you can go fish." Sally swipes the stool from under the purple squirrel and pushes her into the pond. It is at this time I like to point out that I was going to commit to the bit of reading personality traits off of Wikipedia, but I realized I couldn't find a section for Sally regarding her personality traits. This is either an indictment on Wikipedia for believing that women do not have personality traits, or myself for only briefly scanning Wikipedia. I then opened a fandom link to another Sally wiki page, only to have none of the information to make sense on the wiki and realized I was playing a dangerous game with spoilers. So just know that my commitment to trying not to get spoiled is the only reason why you are not enjoying a subpar bit about generic personality traits and in inverse actions we have witnessed from our dear leader today. I'm gonna contradict you and simply say that I think fandom is sexist, so don't use it.
I didn't. The Wikipedia page was the one I was claiming to be sexist.
Oh, okay. We then cut to Antoine zooming around in a 1930s Bullet-style roadster racing car. He speeds through the above village of Knothole. Antoine swipes an apple cart. The dog that was manning said apple cart says, "Woof, woof." You just have unknown dog.
Yeah. I mean, I've never seen this dog before.
I'm putting in character.
Unknown.
Yeah.
I tried Googling character traits for this dog. They had nothing.
What, did he have a page?
No, I didn't even look.
Okay. Whoa. I've never seen Antoine drive so recklessly. Must be important for him to be in such a hurry. I was just going off the woof woof.
It was Rodney Dangerfield inspired.
No respect. So now I'm also gonna make him Brooklyn. Antoine hears this, slams on the brakes and reverses over the apples. Antoine, what are you doing? You say, oh, he's evil.
We don't know that.
We don't know that, but he seems pretty freaking evil right now. I am, how you say, making apples toast.
You didn't somehow make him evil, which I'm very impressed by.
Antoine rolls back and forth over the apples and then drives off. We cut to Rotor, wandering around a small rat's convenience store. Rotor waltzes in, whistling. He looks around and swings a bat, knocking, destroying all the wares this poor rat had to sell. Gosh, just as I thought. Not enough room in here to swing a bat. I'm gonna have to report this. In the meantime,
like Goofy if he like is a Vietnam vet or something. I don't. What a weird voice.
He's having a non-flashback as he's doing this.
Yeah, sorry, I interrupted you. You should read that.
Have a nice day. Rotor leaves a ticket with the rat and walks off. Truthfully, this might be in character. We don't see enough Rotor on his own to know for sure, but I do know that messing people up with bats is kind of his thing. So we'll put this one in the maybe column. We get to a turtle running for his life. Out in the distance, we see a speck flying towards him. The speck gets closer and is revealed to be Tails, doing his best impression of the plane from North by Northwest. Tails dives at the turtle, throwing tomatoes at him. What's the hurry, big fella? I'm trying to put a bad tinge on all of the regular voices, but it just sounds like they're constipated. So
yeah, I just assumed you're doing like an octave lower than you normally do for all of them.
But the tricky thing is Tails is higher, but also lower. Okay. He's like like a darker.
Tails should have the deepest voice.
Tails doing that kind of a voice though. It's kind of like the high and the low is like Michael McDonald from Doobie Brothers. Do you know who that is?
The Doobie Brothers, the band?
Yes.
Okay,
but specifically,
I mean, not offhand, but I know of the Doobie Brothers.
But specifically, the Michael McDonald era where he was the lead singer. So do you know the song?
I didn't. Okay, this becomes a shock.
Long ago, you don't know that song? You probably. I think you do know it. You gotta hear it. Anyway, I'm just saying it's that high low where Michael McDonald has a deep voice, but also he's a tenor, so it's that high and low, and it's that dichotomy that makes it very unique. Anyway.
I'm sure all of our audience is sitting here being like,
yeah,
man,
Michael McDonald,
I'm so glad Dominic is busting out Doobie Brothers references.
All right, here we go. Here's Tails.
I bet Mike F is happy.
What's your hurry, big fella? I just want to play. Rough. Was that good?
Yeah, I don't know, man. That was weird.
Tails throws another tomato at the turtle and flies off to the great forest. We cut to Sonic, seemingly cooler than ever before. He's leaning on a yellow motorcycle, wearing sunglasses, littering everywhere, and filing his nails. All objectively cool things to do. Tails, Rotor, Antoine, and Sally roll up to Sonic. About time you goons showed your ugly mugs. Anybody on to us? Nope, they swallowed it. Hook, line, and sinker. Good deal. These jerks have been less on the ball than you. Now listen close, because here's where things start to get interesting. I don't know what's going on with Sonic and his pals, but they do seem cooler. End of part 1.
So, what do we think is going on here? What do you?
Gee, I wonder, considering the cover page is Evil Sonic is back, and it's like mirrors fighting each other.
Yeah, it's a toss-up. I have no idea what's happening.
I do kind of love this, though.
Oh yeah, no, I'm very happy that the very first issue is literally just the evil gang just like messing with people.
You mean the first part? Because when you say issue, that means every single, like the whole episode.
I mean first, yeah, I meant
first part of this first story of the issue.
Nerds, am I right?
I'm just getting the terminology down.
Yeah, the first part. I'm pretty into this. This is great.
Yeah. Yeah, you're yelling at me.
There's nothing else to really. What?
You're yelling at me for Doobie Brothers references. We got Tails doing a North by Northwest reference, so I can handle it.
Yeah, honestly, objectively, way older.
And he's not shooting guns. He's throwing tomatoes. This is like. This isn't even evil. This is like. This is just bully. They're bullies, and I kind of love it.
Yeah, I love it. I do find it interesting that Antoine is like driving like a 1920s like roadster.
That's so on brand for him. I do love it.
Oh, I agree. I'm super. I'm literally into all of this. This is great.
It's all fitting. Like Sonic is a biker, like a cool 50s biker, but Antoine is like a roadster from like the 20s. It seems like. And he's got the scarf too. He's got like the driving scarf back when driving was a very novel recreational thing. Pretty good. Okay.
How weird was the opening with the pig in the context of the pig is just wearing, I think it's the choice of like colors or something, but the shoes and hands of the pig is really weird.
It does have to come down to it comes down to color though, because Sonic is literally right next to the pig doing with the same fit.
Well, and like I wonder
because logically it's the same.
Yeah, I do think it's literally like you know how they sometimes have like drawings that they can like just pick up and drop down somewhere.
Right.
Do you know what like yeah? I feel like that's a stencil of Sonic's shoes and hands because they look 1-to-1.
Yeah, you know that's like world consistency, so I get it to a degree because I know Sally doesn't have that look, but I don't know. It's a choice. You know, there's millions of fashion choices you can make right now if you step outside. So, you know, that just happens to be the fit. That's a fit.
That's the fit.
I thought that was Hamlin for a second, but I think he looks too different to be Hamlin.
It's not Hamlin.
It's not Hamlin.
Hamlin would. Do you think Sonic would have succeeded in pushing that guy over if it was Hamlin?
Yeah,
no, Hamlin would have fought back.
He would have because like Sonic got the drop on him. But he would have immediately started because, like, yeah, exactly. Third panel, that pig is confused. Hamlin immediately just get back up and start swinging. No questions asked.
Yeah, there's no confusion. He just gets up and knifes them.
he's got the blade. It's like after Jeffrey, he's not going to deal with that shit anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
No, okay, but okay. The implicit world building of, hey, here's a bunch of random citizens of Knothole. The turtle that's chased by Tails also has the same fit. So,
oh yeah, I guess he does.
So I'm with it. Let me just say, when I first found out that this was what we're reading, I was like, okay, fine, whatever. We're doing this again. But if we're gonna do it, we're going to do it right. And so far we're doing it right.
I love how we had extremely different reactions because the moment I saw Cool Sonic was back, I was like, finally, a good issue.
But here's the thing.
We get to hang out with Cool Sonic.
Here's the thing. Cool Sonic is inherently it implies a multiverse, and I'm sick of that shit, as I've said multiple times. So
yeah, but we're not saying Cool Sonic. There's a difference.
When Hedgehogs Collide, Part 2. We turn the clock back a few hours. We cut to Cool Sonic wearing his cool leather jacket and sunglasses, leaning back in his office chair with his feet on the desk. Bored, same old routine, day in and day out. The only time anything exciting ever happens to me, in this universe or another, is when I butt heads with that butthead Sonic the Hedgehog. So, okay, all right. Cool Sonic throws a dart.
Say what you're gonna say.
Okay, so he names Prime Sonic the Hedgehog, which implies that his name is literally cool, or like Evil Sonic.
Cool Sonic. His name's literally Cool Sonic.
It should be Cool Sonic, but yeah.
I had the same exact. I was gonna bring it up at the end of the issue. It's not issue, but you know what I mean.
He doesn't say the good part of me or like the weird version of me. Like, no, it's literally Sonic the Hedgehog. Like that is everyone agrees that is the Prime.
I'm going. Normally I would insist on you finishing the and then I would say this, but I'm just very curious. So I didn't call it out in the script, but Cool Sonic is like throwing darts at a target. On the target is just a face of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes.
Do you think that's his face, or do you think he went and found a picture of Prime Sonic?
Yeah, he had the cosplay as Prime Sonic
the Hedgehog.
Took off the glass and I'm like, I gotta make this stupid face.
Yeah, right?
And then it's like, okay, you get it, Tails? All right, piece of shit. I'll get out of here. And then like prints it out. And it's like, okay, then. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. Cool Sonic throws a dart at a target with Sonic the Hedgehog's face in it.
I did call it out.
Sonic sticks his head out the window to see Cool Antoine and Cool Tails mean mugging everyone on the street while littering. Cool Sonic sighs. Things are just too cushy around here. The SWAT bots do our work, and my arch foe, kindly old Doc Robotnik, is a grade A wimp. Where's the challenge of that? Cool Sally bursts into Cool Sonic's office. Sonic asks if Cool Sally has a problem. Yeah, and I'm starting it. Sally goes and swipes Sonic's feet, tripping him to the ground. I need to kick some tail that might actually kick back for a change. Any bright ideas? Sonic thinks to himself. Don't beat me or yourself up over it, Sal. Not even when you can beat yourself up. Sally is confused and doesn't get the joke. Sonic says she'll understand. Once I've taken you on a little trip down memory lane, along with the cosmic interstate, you can get anywhere from there. But so could my good twin. He took a wrong turn and ended up in our universe. I sent him packing. So when that Robotnik character asked me to repeat my performance, I was only too happy to oblige. My counterpart is everything I'm not. Helpful, kind, obedient, cheerful, and thrifty. A regular Boy Scout. Oh, how I hate that hedgehog. And when Sonic the Hedgehog hates someone, that stays hated. That good guy is bad news, but sometimes bad news can be a good thing. Grease the hogs and round up the posse, Rotor, because tonight we ride. Sorry,
I just love this.
And so Team's Cool Sonic gang goes on the interstate highway and ends up on the Mobius we know and love. Shay Cool Gang strips all their cool clothes so that no one will know that they are the real freedom fighters. Then Sonic kicks a pig. End of part 1.
Man, I should have probably did a pass on this one.
That's okay, because you wrote this at 4:30 in the morning.
Few things. One, why does Sonic have an office? I went and checked. He is sitting in the office of a arcade, of an actual arcade. I feel like that implies he cool. Has a legitimate video game arcade business.
Yeah, he's cool.
Well, yeah, no, I mean that's exactly what a cool Sonic would do.
It is a 7th grader's idea of cool in 1995.
Sure. It's pretty cool. This part kind of sucks. It's just a review of everything we know.
It's arbitrary setup for sure. It's catch up.
Yeah, well, it's just I want to make sure you know who cool. I want you guys to know how cool Sonic is. So we're gonna go and tell you all about the cool things he's done.
This tiny sorry, go ahead.
No, finish your thing because I'm not gonna forget mine.
This panel of Sonic looking out the window at Tails and Antoine where they're walking down. This is the small glimpse of evil world that we see, right?
Oh, okay. We're talking about the same exact thing. Okay. Keep on going.
I like the implication that this is an evil world and it's just, 7th grader's idea of irresponsibility. So you got video arcade, comics, cinema. Motherfucker, you just have an urbanized downtown area that's really cool.
No, okay. I'm taking it a step further. This feels like a utopia.
Yeah.
And these guys are just jerks. Yeah. Because they're complaining about how Robotnik is made it so Swap Box do all the work and clean.
Yeah,
and they're just bored.
That's correct AI.
Yeah. And they're just we don't know what to do. Let's go be bullies. There's a real world implication of if Sonic didn't have anything to do, he'll just turn evil.
Mm-hmm. He's got all that pent up energy.
If he's bored, he's I gotta go make some excitement. I gotta go beat people up. I gotta go. Yeah.
Hey, Sally's fit, pretty dang cool. It's also 50s biker girlfriend chic.
I was thinking more beat.
Oh, you're right. It is that beat. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we say beat, we mean like no one's wearing a someone should have been wearing
it clearly the reference that every single person here is going to understand is Pete's crush in the smash hit. I want to say 2000, maybe 2001 movie, an extremely goofy movie where Pete has a crush on that chic beat girl, and she's like doing poetry slams and stuff.
Judy from the Nickelodeon TV show Doug.
Yeah.
What the fuck's the name of that hat?
The French thing.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Beret
looking.
Oh my god, it's a beret. I like how they had an easy chance to have Antoine to have the beret wearer, but instead he's just Bond villain. He's just 20s Bond villain.
I support this. Antoine wearing high red boots, cool leather jacket with red accents on it, and then a nice scarf, and then he's got an eye patch.
Yeah. And then Rotor,
pretty cool.
Yeah, and then Rotor is just one of the village people.
Yeah, that feels right.
They could have made.
He does kind of look like one of the village people.
Later panels,
even, put that together.
Later panels will showcase this. Yes.
All right.
Well, honestly, Rotor could have been a bear, and we would not have. Nothing would have changed.
For sure.
Okay, here we go.
For sure.
When Hedgehogs Collide, Part 3. Penciled and inking by Art Mahwini and Rich Kozlowski. So we're switching pencilers here. But honestly, I didn't really notice too much of a change. We'll see.
I did. Immediately.
Okay. We open on Sonic, Tails, and Antoine returning from an interdimensional trip. They arrive and walk out of a Stargate-esque portal. Sonic turns to Rotor, who has been manning the portal, and says, "Your time-space matter projector sent us to the negative reality. No problemo. But we still couldn't pierce the zone of silence where Robotnik exiled Sally's dad, King Acorn." Sonic pulls out Nicole, the compact computer that Sally has sent herself from the future. Huh. Fat lot of good you turned out to be, Nicole. I thought you came along to help. Watch that mouth, Hedgehog. It's not my fault. Negative reality wreaks havoc with my software. Next time, bring a comp, ass. Sonic sighs.
Got him.
Sonic sighs. Guess all we can do is keep trying. But until we're ready to mount a full-scale rescue attempt, I don't want to get Sally's hopes up. We mustn't tell her that. Just then, Sally walks into the room. She seems to have gotten back from her Princess Sally miniseries adventure. Sally begins to ask what the crew has been up to since she left when there's a knock on the door. Sonic opens it, and standing there is the town of Knothole Village, its citizens holding pitchforks. They all start yelling and throwing fruit and vegetables at Sonic and the gang. Sonic grabs Sally and juices out of there. Meanwhile, Tails grabs Antoine and flies away. We also discover that Rotor just happens to have a jetpack on him at all times and jets away. The gang meets up and quickly, without really any discussion, come to the conclusion that someone is impersonating the freedom fighters. Sally comes up with a plan to stop them that we don't hear. End of part 1. Sorry, end of part 3.
Yeah, seriously, that was embarrassing. I don't know where to begin with this one.
Consequences of the actions. So
we discover that King Acorn has been banished to an interdimensional zone of silence.
Sure.
Which is a cool name for a zone, I guess.
It's a way to get
I don't even know what that means.
It's a way to get the macro plot moving. Sure.
I respect it. The thing that annoys me, and I hate it when they do shit like this, when they're just like, yeah, we better not tell Sally. And I'm just like, why? Wouldn't she be delighted to know that, like, you're looking? Like, yeah. I don't know, like, the explanation is like we don't want to get Sally's hopes up, but like she has no hope. I don't know. Like it just seems dumb. I don't get it. That's all.
I can't. I mean, look, I'll arbitrarily play devil's advocate and say that they can't just have King Eggcorn. You're right. That specific Sally thing, there's no excuse for. The King Eggcorn being tucked away in another dimension in the...
I'm fine with that.
Okay. I'll say it's like they had to come up with a reason that... Because clearly the Sonic Gang has literally gotten to Robotnik's command and control center multiple times already. So it's like there's literally nowhere they can go that they can't at least touch, right? So...
I wish personally that they could have found out this information instead of it just being dumped on us like this, of being like, hey, we're looking for King Acorn in the Zone of Silence. It's like, what the fuck are you saying?
Yeah.
I wish like there was like some sort of event, or they stumbled upon something, or like maybe like when Sally was like going and hacking shit over at Robotnik's. Wait, this doesn't fucking make sense. Sally had Nicole during the Princess Mini Adventures.
No, she didn't.
I swore she did. All right.
She had Nicole. She had Nicole with the... So, no. Okay. So, Sally did have Nicole on the Sonic special, In Your Face special, where it's the whole gang goes through like the 3-part, the Indiana Jones style dungeon.
Yeah.
They did have Nicole there because she played an integral part of it. She was the driving plot device. Sally did not have Nicole with her for Jeffrey, for the Princess Sally miniseries. So I think you're conflating the two.
I'm skimming. Okay, I'm not seeing it. So there's a real chance that you might be right. Okay, I accept this. Anyway, but it would have been nice if like or even Nicole would probably know. I wish Nicole just told them, right?
Yeah. Well, okay.
Like, I don't know.
I'm 50-50 on it because it's like, okay, we're skipping over a whole part where they discover the thing. They discover King Eggcorn, or it's just assumed from the start. So they are dumping it on us. I'm half and half on it because it's like, okay, we would have had a whole arbitrary story where they discover this, but I guess they needed to advance that plot line. They just kind of skipped over it. There's a lot of implicit things where it's like, okay, if the whole town of Not Whole Village like truly fucking hates us, it's got to be evil Sonic and the gang. Like they just kind of already know it's them, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, if that's the case, then okay, we have interdimensional things. Robotnik is clearly going interdimensional on us. Maybe King Acorn is already, or at least it makes sense that King Acorn isn't one of them. They just had to say it.
And I guess it does make sense in the context of the gang does tend to just jump to conclusions, and they seem to be 100% right every single time.
Which is bad writing. That's bad writing. That's not, them being clever. That's bad writing.
I don't know. They just seem pretty smart. They just always know, man.
They always know. Here we go. When Hedgehogs Collide, Part 4. We open on the Cool Sonic gang, terrorizing the streets of Not Whole Village. Cool Sonic and Cool Sally look around to see who they can terrorize and spot a group of Romani people. Cool Sonic, in an objectively not cool move, strike one for Cool Sonic, calls these people a racial slur and then goes to attack them, which implies a racially motivated attack from Cool Sonic. That is a hate crime, yes. Semi-Cool Sonic and gang drives at the Romani people on their motorcycles when a wire flies across the street, becomes taut, and knocks the Semi-Cool gang off their motorcycles and onto the ground. While knocked onto the ground, the people in Romani garb turned out to be the freedom fighters we know and love. Why they felt the need to dress up like that is kind of weird also, but I'm choosing not to think about it while I continue the story. Sonic walks up to semi-cool Sonic, and semi-cool Sonic tries to punch him. Sonic dodges. This angers semi-cool Sonic, and he orders the semi-cool gang to attack. The semi-cool gang attacks their counterparts. Tails versus semi-cool Tails. Sally versus semi-cool Sally. Rotor versus semi-cool Rotor. And Antoine versus semi-cool Antoine. However, because they are the same person, they match each other 1-to-1. No one can land a blow, and everyone is countering everything. Sally comes up with the idea of changing places. Everyone switches partners. Partner swap. Sonic punches semi-cool Sally in the face. Sally punches semi-cool Antoine in the stomach. Antoine kicks semi-cool Rotor in the face. Rotor grabs semi-cool Tails and swings him around, bashing him into the ground. And Tails, the 4-year-old fox, somehow takes on semi-cool Sonic and wins. The Freedom Fighters tie up the semi-cool gang, and the town folk of Knothole Village come out and apologizes to the Freedom Fighters. End of part 4.
It just ends. It just ends.
It really does. It really freaking does.
They just have them all tied up, and they're like, well, that was that, huh?
No addressing that. It's like, so I is it the implicit thing where they don't need to explain to the villagers where it's like, hey, so just so you know, there's like interdimensional shit going on. Because this seems...
I feel like with how casual everybody's been about it, everyone just knows about like the interdimensional highway and stuff, right?
So
I feel like everyone knows.
So if that's the case, no one thought like, hey, why is the Sonic gang being... Well, okay, sure. Whatever. I guess it just implies that the Freedom Fighters are smarter than everyone, or they're like the best of the best. Or you know what? Yeah. It's an angry mob. Angry mobs do dumb shit all the time. Misinformation spreads extremely fast. So I get it. I can get that. Wait, hold on. So hold on. This implies that in the previous story, the villagers were ready to like gang up on the same people that like terrorized them, right? Mm-hmm. So then why are they running in fear? They had the numbers.
You know, Dominic, you might be thinking too much.
I think I am.
Because you bring up a very good point. Well, when they tried to gang up on the Freedom Fighters, they didn't have motorcycles.
That's true. The semi-cool Sonic gang did have a force multiplier, like with multiple motorcycles each. So you know what? Sure.
But also we're talking about Sonic the Hedgehog, literally the fastest thing alive.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that counts.
Slight tangent, but it's like I appreciate that Sonic R, the game.
Yeah.
That it just had everyone running. No need for go-karts here. They only added that later with Sega All-Stars Racing.
First of all, Sega All-Stars Racing, one of the best kart racers ever. Definitely better than Mario Kart. I need to throw that out there.
Is there an option for the Sonic gang to just run?
I don't think so. I don't remember ever seeing that.
If they can have that, where you can still have the gang in cars. Well, okay. The lore is that they need to equalize everything, so they need a car to stay equal. Sure, whatever.
Goat karts, the great equalizer, is what they always say.
Which is why Shenmue gets a forklift. But okay. But that's just a good choice. That's just a great choice.
Yeah, that's just a good game. You said that, you made it sound like you were making fun of it, and I'm like, any game that features both Skies of Arcadia characters and Burning Rangers.
Whoa!
I mean,
is that the one where it's anime mech fighters, but it's just firefighters in space?
Yeah, Burning Rangers is great, and
the intro was freaking awesome. There, it's a great soundtrack.
Yeah. The Burning Rangers soundtrack is so good, and it's got the mere fact that there's a Burning Rangers race course automatically makes it the greatest racing game of all time.
I didn't know that. That's pretty badass. That's incredible.
Yeah, you're like going through like a building that's like being destroyed. It's pretty cool.
I'll say this: when everyone's jumping on the multiverse fighting stuff now, or whatever kart gaming stuff now. It's mixed results. I haven't played too much of them, but I will say when they go deep into shit like that, where it's like, hey, we're gonna have a Burning Rangers, racetrack.
Who gives a shit? I mean, I give a shit about Burning Rangers.
We give a shit.
I understand that 99% of the world does not, and so the mere fact that there's a Burning Ranger, like, there's no character, or at least I don't remember there being one. But the fact that there's a level, insane.
Yes. So I appreciate you going semi-cool Sonic to semi-cool Sonic game because of the hate crime, the legitimate hate crime. But I think they go back to cool Sonic because, well, no. I think
we can excuse hate crimes here.
No. I'm not. I'm saying it's like after, the math. But I'm mistaken. It's actually cool. So Prime Sonic becomes cool Sonic because Sonic punches a woman. Like smack in the face.
It's actually pretty cool.
As gamers, we hate women.
Yeah, obviously. But
and as based leftists, we also hate women because women as an idea kind of cringe. Also, men as an idea.
Sex is just a construct, man.
Men as an idea. Well, actually, no. Gender is the construct.
Oh, gender. Sorry, I'm not that woke.
But men as an idea, kind of dumb.
Wait, no, that idea is cool
because we're gamers.
Yeah. Obviously, we're joking. I feel the need to say that on that one.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the truth: is that you can honestly say that gender as a construct is stupid because it's like, who gives a shit? Like. The ultimate example is high heels. High heels used to be a very masculine thing when it was used as a tool by hunters on like horseback to like get on horses faster. And then high heels became like a women thing, or feminine thing.
Also, the color pink used to be a masculine color.
Very masculine.
A very long time.
So it is kind of stupid. But so there's that. But also at the same time, we do acknowledge that because the system is what it is, the system does kind of shit on women a lot. Because it created that playpen and then like shit all over that pen of like, hey, you're women, and then we're gonna shit all over you. So we do have to acknowledge it to combat it. But also, women, men, stupid.
So why do you think Prime Sonic felt the need to dress up as Romani people?
Yeah, I don't get that either.
That's not a good move either.
They could have.
They're kind of on equal footing again.
They could have chosen any. They could have chosen any disguise, but they specifically... When did Hunchback of Notre Dame come out? Hold on. The movie.
98, I want to say?
96. 96, so after. There was no
96.
reason. There was no reason for them to dress up as Romani people.
Unless this is like 4D chess, unless they knew that Semi-Cool Sonic Gang was going to commit a hate crime if they saw people dressed up as the Romani people and was like, we're going to do this to bait them.
False.
Which is actually, that's a pretty cool move if that's what Prime Sonic was thinking.
This is a tactic.
Prime Sally, I guess.
This is a tactic the left needs to get on, which is false flag hate crime attacks. I'm joking. Actually, that is the worst thing anyone can do. Don't ever do that because you will. Okay, so actually, the reason why you never do false accusations or anything is because it absolutely hurts the real accusations, like real hate crimes and stuff like that. Because hate crimes are not addressed very well in society. Overall.
There's also a real chance that you're not cool enough to pull it off.
Okay, so yeah. For the record, so the real reason why they use the slur is because in America, mainstream, even up to now, people don't know that the G word, we're saying that because we're trying our hardest to not say it. Nick, should I say it once? No. We've committed to not saying it.
I say it all the time.
Okay, so if you've seen The Hunchback of Notre Dame, there's the woman character, Esmeralda. She is one of those people. She is a Romani person, but there was another term for that. I will say this. Is that there's another term that I used all the time, or like a phrase that I use all the time, like, oh man, I got gypped out of that good sale, right? Or like, I used to say that all the time, and then I realized, oh shit, the reason why they do that is because they use that term to connotate with the Romani people, and that's actually really, really bad that you say that. So I still say it every now and then, but I'm trying to catch myself. Anyway, the reason why, so if you're saying like, oh, you're being overly sensitive, no, in 1971, the Romani World Council like specifically decided, yeah, this is this is our N word. Do not say it. Please do not say it. So America, the world had a good 25 years to get this right, and I guess
you said the 70s, right?
Yes, correct.
Oh, you mean I thought you meant like for today, and I was like, how long ago do you think the 70s was?
Oh no, for this comic to come out in 1995.
Yeah. Though very embarrassing that, it's more than 40 years later, and
50.
Yeah, and yeah. Here we are.
And never forget that the Romani people were one of the many victims of the Holocaust. So that's why we're including them in. We're not just picking a random ethnicity. Should we keep going?
Yo, Dom.
Yeah.
Get your guitar.
Let's
we got
go.
some emails to read.
Now it's time for Sonicgrams. You can write to Sonicgrams. Oh yeah, it's a legally distinct Sonicgrams. It's an unaffiliated Sonicgrams. We made our own Sonicgrams.
You're not gonna take it out of the case? You're not committing to this bit?
Okay, fine. You want me to do it?
No. You're fine. All right. We left off in the middle of Plasma K's email from last issue because he left us a little thing. Don't worry. He did say it was a spoiler if we got to issue 24, so I didn't read it. Our favorite dork has returned, and this time he has company. I take umbrage with the word dork. Do you think it's interesting how while Prime Sonic couldn't care less about his counterpart, Evil Sonic has his image of his foil on a dartboard? Also, King Acorn confirmed not to be dead, but imprisoned in another dimension, which was a plot point from Sat-Am cartoon. Interesting. So I wonder if that's why they just threw it in one random. They're like, we need to draw parallels to the TV show, so let's just say he's in that universe. Well, I feel like we talked pretty in depth about what we think about the dimension part. How do we feel about semi-cool Sonic always just kind of thinking about Prime Sonic?
He's in his head. Like, he can't accept the universal goodness of the freedom fighters, the Prime freedom fighters, and it bothers him on a deep evil level. But his evil is more bully, which is why it's cool. When you start doing hate crimes, that's cringe.
Yeah, that's semi-cool.
That's semi-cool. I like how actually, hold on. That's on you, scriptwriter, for saying that's like hate crime. Only semi-cool now.
Well,
that's actually a really funny bit. I'll be honest.
It also, I was trying to decide because I was like, well, I can't, in good conscience, just call him Cool Sonic after this,
right?
So I had to think of a title, and I'm like, well, maybe he didn't know about the connotations with that word. There's wiggle room with this one. It wasn't like, he went hard with it. Or maybe he did. Maybe he knew exactly what he was doing and he did a hate crime.
There's only two bad answers here, which is that either he fully was committing to the hate crime, or his world, evil world, doesn't have Romani people anymore because they were already
he hate crimed them all,
or society did. Yeah. I don't know. I just want to say, since this is literally the only episode I'll ever get to talk about this. There is a very popular subgenre of jazz called the slur jazz. You know what I'm saying, right? And
there's definitely
G-word jazz. And
same with punk.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Can you name a band?
There's a very famous punk 1 second.
While he looks that up, the term now is called jazz manouche, which I think is a really cool term as well. And it's called jazz manouche because manouche is the clan, the name of the peoples, like some peoples, or like, underneath the umbrella of Romani people that Django Reinhardt came from. So you hear like minor swing, bum, bum, bow, bum, ba, it's like a very popular French where like the guitar is playing quarter notes and you hear like a clarinet and violin and stuff. Parisian jazz, French jazz, upbeat jazz like that. It's called jazz manouche, named after Django Reinhardt's clan.
I feel like this guy knows what he's doing, and there's a reason why he did it. But Gogol Bordello is the one that I know of when I think about that type of punk. Yeah. In terms of what I think about semi-cool Sonic, thinking about Prime Sonic, I think it's just, I think he's bored. I think if there's more to do in his world, he wouldn't even think about Prime Sonic. But I feel like they just happen to live in a utopia. He's got nothing else to do, man. He's just like, what else to do? What am I going to do? And they just...
I can't even make like a statement on fascism because this isn't fascism. This is just an asshole. An asshole who's got a privileged asshole, but works with fascists. Okay, I'll say that.
Well, you know what's... So, Robotnik is a fascist, right?
Correct.
Do you think they did that on purpose? Where, like, the inverse Robotnik, who was a, like, whatchamacallit, a pet healer, veterinarian, also known as pet healers, depending on who you talk to.
A veterinarian?
Hey, man, words are hard. There's so many of them to remember. But he's also making swap bots to like do chores and do work and stuff. I wonder if there's like if that was very specific, like on purpose to make Robotnik kind of make like a utopia, right?
I don't know. That's hard to say. All I know is that the swap bots are actually being used for good, which is cleaning the mundane tasks. It never ceases to amaze me how Capital flipped the AI problem on its head. I don't know if we've talked about this before, but where it's like the old way was the Willy Wonka situation where the robotic arm, replaces the worker, the Charlie's dad or whatever at the factory. Mm-hmm. But instead, so it's like menial tasks where it's, brute force or manual labor. That's what I'm trying to say. Manual labor, that we feared that robots and AI would take over manual labor, but now it's the opposite, where they are taking over every creative field possible so that humans can do the manual labor, the complete inverse of what we had feared this whole time. And that is where AI is now. And it's just nice to see somewhere in the dimension of Archie Sonic that someone's getting it correct.
Yeah, it is very disappointing that they've decided, the elites, that we'll just create content with no thought behind it, and people will just gobble it up because people just want to consume it. Doesn't matter what it is. And like, that's the disappointing, very sad. We'll
admit the bar is low. There's like 1,200 Fast and Furious movies. The bar is low, but they can't even reach that, right? Because it shows how inhuman. It really shows how inhuman the elite are. Not to like belittle them, not to like other them that much, but they kind of are. Like the fact that they can just give them this and they'll be happy, and we can automate it and we don't have to pay for any of it.
Did you hear about the thing that Netflix was doing where they went to the writers and was like of like their shows and was like, hey, when new people are like coming into a room or something, can you like loudly announce their name so that people don't have to look up and look at the screen to see who is in the room and like who is talking?
Yes.
Because they assume that people aren't going to be paying attention to what is happening on the screen and will be consuming either other media or will be doing other tasks while this thing is happening.
Yeah, it's
just like,
it's been a thing for a little while now. I feel like where they do that, or they'll repeat plot points like before they happen, or just before like it becomes relevant again. I mean, you could argue that. I mean, it's not comparable, but you could argue that TV had been doing that for a long time, where it's like, oh hey, this side character is coming back this episode, and you can anticipate it because the review, like. The review for this episode will be like, oh hey, here's a random cutaway to this side character we haven't seen in like a couple seasons, which means they're gonna show up again in this episode. You know what I'm talking about?
So my pushback, that's not even the right word, but
it's not one-to-one comparable with what you said, but
well, also TV was different. There was an assumption that people would be like flipping through channels and like just catching half an episode or something, and so you gotta like figure out quick ways to like catch people up. There was an assumption that maybe you didn't see last week's episode and like you didn't really have an easy way to record it or anything. And
you also have
TV was a lot less serialized also in the 90s, with like Buffy the Vampire being one of the first ones to like actually do a continuous storyline. I mean, there were others before, don't get me wrong, but Buffy was the first one I can think of that hit in a mainstream way. The problem is with all these streaming services, you don't have to assume people's coming in like halfway through an episode. You don't have to assume that people are like channel flipping and then landing on your channel. All the content's right there, and you can watch it in order. And so the fact that like this type of thing is still like happening, and in fact arguably worse, is just disheartening to say the least.
It's crazy how Netflix really had a chance. I mean, they've made billions, don't get me wrong, and they've been successful, but it's like they really have a chance to like solidify themselves, cement themselves as at least a constant streaming platform that everyone needs to like subscribe to. But it's just they've lost so much luster, so much throwing shit at the wall, which I kind of get to a degree. That's fine. But it's the lack of quality control where they feel the need to squash things before they even reach a conclusion. There's that, which has been a thing since the end of time. But you're streaming now. Like if you're throwing shit at the wall, I think you have time to invest in the quality stuff too. I don't know.
Well, I feel like they shot themselves in the foot, because there are a lot of people, myself included, where I won't watch a show until it's done.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't want to get invested in something and then like halfway through it just have it be completely not. I mean, it's like, oh great, I watched 2 seasons of Santa Clara Diet or something. That was the name of that show, right?
Santa Clarita Diet.
And, yeah. And then it's, I'll never find out what happens next.
The big one I heard about.
Just cut it.
The big one I heard about was Sense8. I don't know if you heard about that.
Wasn't that the Wachowski sisters or one of them? I
don't know. Maybe. I just don't know. I never saw it. I just know a lot of talk about Sense8 being canceled. This was like 5 years ago or something.
Yeah. Now I got to look it up.
But either way, they're trying to chase like pay-per-view or like traditional TV models. So it's like the Mike Tyson fight, the NFL games. They're really, it's not a dumb move, but it just shows that they're really trying to grasp at everything and anything instead of doing one thing really fucking well. I don't know.
First of all, I was right with the Wachowski sisters.
Nice.
They created it. I don't know how much they like. I don't know if they just like created the core concept and gave it to writers or what, but that is enough for me to go check it out.
Sure. But you're not going to get a resolution on that. You're not going to get a final season.
Yeah, I'll manage. If I know that going in, that helps a lot too.
Sure.
But because then I can temper expectations. Have you seen this like kids NFL shit?
I have, and I heard it. I think it debuted during the Super Bowl, the most recent Super Bowl, where it was SpongeBob and Patrick.
I think it's been happening for over a year now.
SpongeBob, yeah.
I watched a bunch of 12-year-olds give their top picks of games that are happening and predictions of who's gonna win and why, and I was just like, what is this world? It was so weird.
So, but see, as insidious as it is, it's actually genius because it's we're getting them in early.
I mean, I would love to know the numbers and if they're actually getting people in or not.
Are we talking about the same thing where it's hey, we've augmented the reality so that it's Bart Simpson versus Homer Simpson?
Yeah, or they do a touchdown and they get slimed CGI style.
Yeah. It's cringe, but it's cringe. Don't get me wrong, but I understand the business model. It's get them in early, no matter what. And I had a really funny thing about this where I was at Andy's Jazz Club, I think last month, and I had because there's a drink minimum, so I had 2 wines in a row, 2 reds. 2 cabs, actually.
For people who don't know Dominic, that's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a shit ton for me.
He's borderline blackout.
And I got there a little late too. So, but I still had to get that drink minimum. And I'm the kind of person where it's well, I can't just drink half of this. I have to get my money's worth, right?
Yeah.
Usually I'll hawk it off to a friend, but I'm by myself.
That's
and
normally me.
Yeah, and I drove there. I drove there too. So I stumbled back to my car, and it's well, shit, I can't drive. I cannot do this. But
you can.
I can, but what am I going to do?
Would.
Yeah, what am I going to do? Drive drunk and I don't know. I'm going to make a joke there.
Enjoy America's favorite pastime? Yeah. What kind of question is that?
We could have had a vice president with a DUI. God damn it. Oh, so disappointed. But anyway.
You're only...
Because DUIs are
the
cool.
only way to get better at drinking and driving is to practice, Dominic.
Look, DUIs where you don't... If you... Okay, the moment you kill someone, cringe. Very, very cringe.
Embarrassing.
But DUI, just having the charge and not kill anyone? Pretty cool. Anyway, so I'm stumbling around with my keys by my car, and it's I can't do this. And I'm parked down the street from Andy's, which is under an overpass, and then it's I can't do this. So what am I? I'm just gonna have to walk around River North, which is a safe neighborhood, even at night. So it's all right, what am I gonna do now? But I look up from me. I was I hadn't realized that I had parked next to the original Billy Goat Tavern. So it's you know what? I think I've had Billy Goat once before, and I think it was with you, after work.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah.
So I was screw it, I'm going to go to the original Billy Goat Tavern. So there I go, going down into the tavern, ordering a burger. It wasn't bad. It was all right. It's
fine.
It's overhyped. It's overhyped for sure for the legendary status that it has in Chicago. But it's all right. It's hit. Look, I enjoyed it because I was drunk, and I'm sitting there eating it.
I think at one point in time, it was more about how cheap it was.
Yes, 1000%. And I'm a big fan of the smash burgers to begin with.
Sure.
That griddle top, greasy spoon kind of thing. So anyway, I'm there having my burger. I'm halfway through it, and then I look up, and then I see on the TV, it's Bart Simpson and Homer Simpson facing off each other for Fox Monday Night Football. And they're doing all the crazy shit. And because I'm drunk off my ass, I'm what the fuck am I looking at? And I'm looking around. I never talked to anyone at the Billy Goat. It's 20% attendance, right? Because it's late. And it's I'm looking around trying to signal with my body language. Are we fucking seeing the same thing here? But no one's acknowledging it. So I'm I could be hallucinating. I could be drunkenly hallucinating this. Or this is real. And then I later found out it was real. Because I don't know. It was weird. It was Dominic, a very weird thing.
You normally don't hallucinate when you're drunk. Just so you know.
What's the term? When you make something up when you're drunk? I don't know.
No, it's... I believe you might hallucinate if you do absinthe. Or maybe wood alcohol.
Okay.
But I don't... I mean, I have drank absinthe, but not enough to hallucinate. So maybe that's my plan for this weekend.
I should be there.
I just keep on doing it to like, I want to hallucinate, man.
Look, watching you...
That's why
like,
I'm going to get drunk and do some mushrooms.
Yeah, man. Watching you almost die from shrooms and absinthe, that's a hella good reason to come over. Unfortunately, the reason why we're doing this over Discord is because there's a chance I might have pneumonia. I had to go to the hospital for someone else, escort someone to the hospital.
Not you.
Yeah, yesterday for 7 hours, which was good because it's good that we went because we found things out, but it still sucked. So it's like, well, I can't in good conscience visit Nick after spending 7 hours at a hospital with things the way they are, especially with bird flu. So, yeah, we have like 4 things circulating right now. Look,
like RSV, COVID,
when this
flu.
when this airs, when this is on YouTube, it will be the inauguration. So you can count down from this episode just how long we go into another pandemic, which obviously I'm not rooting for because I'm not one of those accelerationist assholes where it's like, yeah, just kill like 100,000 people so that we can hurt the conservatives. Like, no, I have a heart, but yeah, you can count. You can count now from this episode.
Do we think bird flu is going to become person to person?
It's okay. Will it mutate? I think so, but I think it won't. It'll burn a lot. So the thing with COVID, the reason why COVID was so insidious is because it had a long ass incubation time on top of us not really knowing how to handle it, or at least we had a playbook. Anyway, the incubation time was the crux. If this is a more lethal, if it's okay, like bubonic plague or like Ebola, if that hit, which it did. It did reach the US, but it only killed like one person, or did it kill anyone? I don't know in the US during like, this was Ebola like circa 2014 or something, right? 15, I don't remember. But...
Sorry, someone asked me a question I had to answer.
Yeah, the reason why...
I wasn't truly listening.
That's okay. The reason why Ebola never really will take hold the way 2020 COVID pandemic will is because it's so lethal, it'll actually kill people fast enough that it won't spread as much. It can, don't get me wrong, it still has the chance to kill thousands, but I don't think it will kill hundreds of thousands the way COVID, or millions the way COVID did worldwide. So bird flu, it can do some damage, don't get me wrong. We can have another shutdown, but it won't be like a year-long textbook shutdown, as opposed to, or like shutdown on the books.
I think... as someone who has been following the bird flu thing since early last year, 2024, I think it will, because we have literally done nothing to try to curtail it.
Correct.
Like literally nothing. When people are like, oh yeah, they're infecting like hordes and hordes of like chicken flocks and whatnot, you got to realize all that testing is voluntarily. Yeah. Like that is the farms being like, hey, we might have it. We should be responsible and reach out and do some testing, see if we have bird flu. So for every single one that, tested positive, there's got to be like
you can
10
extrapolate
to 20 farms not even testing because it's all voluntary. So
it still blows my mind, and this is a critique from the left, is like, it still blows my mind that we never set up like a national count of COVID once it was over, right? Like we just like stopped reporting it under the Biden administration. Why? I don't understand how, look, this disease is like generational, multi-generational. It's like a cultural impact. Why don't you have, like, just make a sub-department of COVID under the, Health and Human Services at that point, right? Like,
I mean, it is definitely something that we should always be keeping track of. And under Biden, he was like, we don't need to know this.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane.
So,
like, not even John Hopkins anymore, like third party anymore. It's all sewer, right? It's all sewer samples.
Yeah, it was all wastewater.
Thank you.
I don't know. Just keep on collecting that data so that we know how bad it is. And I was basing a lot of my like day-to-day life of being like, oh, you know what? It's surging pretty bad right now. I'm not gonna go see any concerts or anything right now. Like I still I mask on public transit. I don't
Good.
really and when I go grocery shopping, but outside of that, I don't really wear masks that often. But when I know I'm going to be around a lot of people, I definitely do.
Look, we're trying not to fearmonger. We're really trying not to.
Yeah.
But considering how you remember, viewer, you remember 2020. You absolutely do. So it's like, dude, after that traumatic experience, how little we were prepared for it, how little we learned from it, and how little we are absolutely not going to respond in this new administration. You kind of, I don't mean to fearmonger, but I do want to like put that in your mind going into this administration. Please be careful. You know, don't panic buy, but maybe set aside. I fucking know times are hard right now. They always are. But like, if you can spare some of your paycheck, not on weed, but instead maybe on like a non-perishable food item or another set of N95 masks.
Wait, we can find something other than weed. Why'd we jump straight to weed?
Because weed
I feel called out right now, Dominic, and I don't like it.
I don't know. You can be like those
buy masks.
You can be like those union busting posters where it's like you could buy a video game console with the latest hits, or you could just, or like if you stopped paying union dues, you could stop. You remember those posters?
I love. You could buy one video game. I should get that framed if we ever get a set. If we ever get a set, I mean by get a set, I mean if I ever am in a position where I can get a house and I turn my basement into a set, because that's the only way this works.
Yeah.
But if we ever do that, we should mark it down. I would love to frame that, because I always thought that was so funny.
The reason why I'm showing it on the screen right now, the verbiage is so good. It was like, yeah, you could buy the newest video game console with the latest hits. Like, Jesus Christ, you know, a fucking ghoul wrote that shit.
Yep. But like like a 55-year-old man who doesn't understand, like, kids are into video. It's not weed anymore, right? It's video games.
The latest hits. Okay.
We are technically doing Sonicgrams, and I do have time still. I technically had a hard cutoff, but we seem to be good. So for at least one, maybe two more emails.
Okay.
This is from Plasma K, following up from the last email he sent. In my previous email, I did reference the issue you were reading. I was jokingly drawing a parallel between the rule of an absolute monarch and the situation that the freedom fighters and Robotnik found themselves in.
Yeah.
And ants that Rotor kept, which that makes perfect sense. Just always remember that I'm an idiot. So if you draw parallels, I don't see them. I just see the road in front of me. I don't look left or right. That line went hard.
It did.
Fuck,
you
man.
got cool all of a sudden.
Oh. Don't dress up like a Romani person.
It's the most random fucking thing. That gives, those obscure literary terms. You should have one like Romani slingshot, because they use a slingshot to like hit the.
Yeah, I got you. This one is from Speed Boom.
Hey.
Written after episode 29. So since you asked, unfortunately, I never found my cat. However, sometimes cats go missing for more than a year, so there's always a chance I'll find her. I will inform you in the next email. Speed Boom, that sucks. I'm sorry.
Terrible. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm assuming.
Nothing else to say. That sucks.
Yeah, I'm assuming the cat wasn't tagged. Do not tell us what state you live in, but depending on the state, I don't know if they even have that set up. So I'm assuming you might get another pet in the future, so that's something to think about. Is getting a tag. They usually get it on either the ear or like around the shoulder, and it's like a fire extinguisher. You don't realize you need it until you absolutely critically do need it. So that sucks, dude. I'm so sorry.
I made a joke, about Sonic not wearing pants. Sonic not wearing pants is one of the strangest aspects of the series. It's one of the most consistent things, and despite Sega mandates seemingly having loosened up over the years, they still don't want him wearing pants. I respect it, Sega.
never. I think he just wore pants for this episode, right? For this issue.
Cool Sonic.
No. He was
Cool
just up as a Romani person.
Oh, okay. Well, that was cosplaying. That doesn't count.
You got to commit to the bit.
Yeah. If he wasn't, he wouldn't. I want to talk about Antoine's story where Bunny is secretly looking out for him the whole time because it's one of my favorite early stories. It would have been so easy to have Antoine either A, never find out that Bunny was protecting him, or B, find out and then get defensive about it and then mad at her.
But
they didn't do that.
That a worse writer would have done either of those two options. That was the best route. That was the cutest route, the biggest character building. I genuinely do love that story. Those are the stories that I'm going to take from these early years, these early issues.
It shows that he's a bit more observant than I think a lot of us give him credit for, and truly appreciates Bunny's help. And on Bunny's side, it's really cute that she was planning to keep it a secret, so Antoine felt like a hero. Their dynamic is really cute in this comic, and honestly makes me want to see them together more than every single interaction between Sonic and Sally so far. And I actually agree with that. Antoine and Bunny's relationship right there was way more interesting than anything they've done with Sally and Sonic so far.
Yeah, honestly, Sally.
I didn't realize that until he said it, but yeah, I agree 1,000%.
In terms of the Freedom Fighters' interpersonal relationships, I agree. I mean, the Sally miniseries, she's forging whole new relationships with other characters, and even that we got our critiques. But this one's pretty cool. I just like it when you have a main gang and an established order of, popularity, it seems like, or like by the writers. But then when you have I want to see like a Rotor Antoine story. I want to see a Tails and Bunny thing, which I think we've seen in very small snippets. When I'm talking about like the whole story.
Yeah. No, I'm in agreement. Maybe we'll get Tails and someone soon, because I know it might be next issue or the one after. We got to read the Tails mini series.
Yeah.
Also, Nick is right. Antoine is no coward. In fact, he's the bravest of them all. His bravery is not the lack of fear, but rather being afraid and preserving anyway. Also, Dominic hates the Ninja Turtles. He doesn't like you anymore, dude. He thinks you suck.
That's okay. I respect it.
He technically did say that was a joke, but I'm editing this, so that's never actually said. Speed Boom hates you now, dude.
I am always of the opinion, have the opinion, just be prepared to defend it.
Mm-hmm. Mutant Mayhem looks very different than Spider-Verse. Thank you. Spider-Verse looks like a comic book come to life, while Mutant Mayhem looks like a teen sketchbook come to life, which I actually agree with. It's less than just trying to look like Spider-Verse and more than they're trying to do their own stylized 3D animation, and that comes across in many different forms.
I 1000% agree. No arguments there. From a producer's point of view, from the money point of view, it's a carbon copy of Spider-Verse, where it's like, yeah, just do that, which is what I was trying to get at.
Yeah. And then he just says, hey, don't worry about going on bizarre tangents during our emails. So
too late.
He said, don't worry. So there's no reason to say too late. We're good to go. Those are the emails. That's it, man. We got another one in the dust behind us.
Pull up the script.
Now we're just looking forward to the future.
Nick, all you have to do is say, okay, let me pull up the script for the outro. That's all you have to say, Nick.
This is no one knew what I was doing, Dominic, until you said it. No one knew. And that's the issue. Only 397 left to go. I'm Nick. I stream at twitch.tv/Mojosaurus. My personal blue sky is at Mojosaurus. And you are Dominic. You just can follow Dominic's jazz adventures in Chicago at Blue Collar Jazz, and his personal blue sky at Dom Guan.
Just gonna blow right past me there? That's fine. Yeah, that's a little cool.
You weren't gonna say anything.
You didn't have a pause. You didn't pause.
You panicked. Okay,
well, either way, I have been skeeting up a storm on Blue Sky because I just got into it finally. So, also I was in the hospital, so I had nothing to do but skeet. So,
you can follow us at socials at Gotta Talk Fast. TikTok is Gotta Talk Faster. We also have a video version of the podcast where you can follow along and with the panels and watch our handsome faces. You can write in at the show at sonicgrams@gottatalkfast.com, ask us questions, provide corrections, and give us your opinion on this week's issue. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and remember, when life keeps going fast, you gotta talk fast and get through it. I love you.
Is there another meaning to skeet?
Isn't that when you shoot the...
Gotta talk, gotta talk.
Gotta Talk Fast was written by Nick Folkerts and edited by Dominic Guanzon. Intro and outro themes recorded by Dominic Guanzon. Gotta Go Fast originally composed by Norman J. Grossfeld, Joseph Garrity, and Russell Velasquez.
Gotta talk, gotta talk. Gotta talk, gotta talk. Gotta talk, gotta talk. Gotta talk. Gotta talk fast. Gotta talk fast. Gotta talk fast. Gotta talk fast.